We are talking about my mother, Evelyn Kubly-Jacobs, and she passed away about 8 months ago with cancer. And she was a wonderful, wonderful woman. She was ambitious and had many friends and loved life. When they told her that she only had a few months to live, she said, "Oh, I've got so much more I want to do. That can't be, you know." She just loved life. Every day, she enjoyed every day of her life. So
she was just a very energetic, active woman that was so fun to be around. I could talk to her about anything. She was a very good friend of mine, and I was always amazed. And she taught me everything when I was a kid, like how to cook and clean and do laundry. She would always say, "You're old enough now to know how to do this, so you can help your mom out." And I just really respected her, really looked up to her. At the age of 90, she decided that the doors at Turner Hall should be refinished because they were all working on bettering the building. And so she volunteered to take on that task. So they took all the doors off of Turner Hall, and she stripped them down, refinished them, and they look beautiful. And it was very much a big joy for her to do that for them.
And Evelyn loved to dance, and she and I especially danced the waltz. And the last time we did this, I said to Evelyn, "Do you think we can make it around the hall?" She said, "Yes, we can." And we did. And we had a lot of good times.
Evelyn was a peach. She really was a peach. Wherever she wanted to go, I'd take her.
Evelyn was a very, very classy lady. She just was one in a million. And whenever she was someplace, she matched from her eyeglasses down to her shoes, everything in between. Her jewelry, she was a very classy lady.
And she loved to play cards, and I hate to play cards. Like, I just really don't enjoy it. But every time Grandma came, that's what we did. We sat around for hours and played cards. And my husband loves to play cards, and my mom loves to play cards. So they would drag me in, and we would sit at the kitchen table for hours and play cards. And she was always my husband's partner, and they always beat my mom and I terribly. And she would just harass me. At 90, my grandmother was harassing me because she beat me in cards, and she would have a headache or a backache or wouldn't feel good. But we sat there still for hours and played cards.
She hung on. I mean, when she was sick, she still went to Turner Hall. She still would try to dance. And I don't know how many times she said to me, "Betty, I got so many places to go yet and so many things to do. You think we can make it?" "Yeah, we'll try. We'll try." So whenever she called, I went no matter what, because she called this one up and she would say, "You ready?" She was always ready to go along. So
the day that we found out Grandma was sick with cancer, we were at the hospital at Monroe Clinic, and they came in and told us that, it was probably going to be when we'd be referred to hospice. And so Grandma was in her hospital room, and Dr. Richardson and his team came up and talked to her, and they were unbelievable. And I sat looking at Dr. Richardson and his team in amazement, because they acted like she was the only person that they were going to see that day, and they gave her all the time she needed to talk about everything under the sun. And I was just amazed at how attentive they were to her. Losing weight, which she was already a little bitty thing, so we found out that she had cancer. She had lung cancer, which was ironic because my grandmother hated smoking, never smoked a cigarette in her whole entire life.
When we had to get hospice, they were so helpful to us. They would come and anytime we wanted, and they were so good with Mom. she would say, well, who's coming today? And I would tell her, and she'd, oh, I like her, I like that, And she after she got used to the idea of not being able to see her doctors, she got close to her doctors, and she always would say, oh, can I call such and such? And we'd say, no, now we have the hospice nurses, and they would come and they would reassure her that they could do whatever she needed, and they were so good. Anytime in the middle of the night when we'd have to call, they were just so wonderful. They would come and help us when we wasn't sure what to do.
She because she has had, some illnesses in her lifetime, she actually knew a lot about health care, or her health, and she would sometimes, give the nurses advice. And it was kind of funny. But that's my grandma.
Evelyn was very appreciative of hospice, and I would go there. There would be girls there with her, and they were very kind to her. And I was on hospice myself 2 years ago, so I'm very familiar with the program, and I really appreciate it. I guess I'm one of the few that got excused, but they did. She appreciated it just like I did.
My father was also in hospice 7.5 years ago, and I was so amazed by all the nurses and how they took such good care of my dad, and he just loved them. He loved them so much, and they were just part of our family when we were going through that. And so I decided to become a hospice volunteer because of them, and it's something that I've done for, I believe, 5 years now, and I love it. It's hard, but I love it.
I would think any family, that is when you know that your loved one is towards the end of their life, that calling hospice is a wonderful, wonderful idea. It just takes a pressure off of you to know that you have somebody you can call, because you're not exactly sure what you should be doing, and they would come in, they would comfort you, they would comfort Mom. They were just wonderful, and we were so happy that we could call them at any time for help.
They're like angels, and I would of course want to say thank you, and that I just really appreciate the work that they do.
I just remember Evelyn's a super, super person.
Yep, I second that. She was.